The Trump administration is looking to expand its power to detain and deport people without due process as quickly as possible.
Oh boy. How has the Trump administration changed immigration policy, and what should you expect in the next 4 years? My name is Elliot, and if you want to learn more about the U.S., follow CGTN America for more. Since taking office, U.S. President Donald Trump has implemented a wide variety of changes to U.S. immigration policy and law enforcement.
There have been a lot of changes under what I'm calling Trump 2.0. I mean, just in the first month and a half, there were over 200 policy changes. So it was very fast and furious.
I spoke with analyst and immigration lawyer Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch to learn more about the first few months of immigration policy under this administration.
But I think the thing that has been most impactful and in the news has been the interior removals under the Trump administration, where they are deporting people as quickly as possible and without any due process. So we're seeing a lot of, frankly, earth-shattering stories about, breastfeeding mothers being taken away from their children, or U.S. citizen kids with cancer being deported, or people being sent to third countries like El Salvador.
We also discussed the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man that critics say the Trump administration wrongly deported to El Salvador.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia presumably is still in a lower security prison in El Salvador. Right now, we're in kind of a holding pattern on his case. It is before judge. The Trump administration has claimed that there are state secrets surrounding his detention and their efforts to bring him back. The media has very little access to what is happening. In fact, several outlets have petitioned for the court just today to receive more information about what's happening in his case. But what we know is he's not back yet, and the Trump administration is not sharing a lot of information with the courts about their efforts to bring him back. I don't think that the judge will allow this to go on for much longer. I do think we will start to see some activity or information. We're also keeping a close eye on a lot of Venezuelans who have been detained, and the Trump administration is attempting to send more Venezuelans to El Salvador. The Supreme Court has decided that each of these people needs to file their own habeas petition where they're being held. And now the Trump administration has announced that they're looking for other third-party countries to receive deportees, like Libya, for example. So we're all watching that. The Trump administration would have argued that the reason these men aren't being deported to Venezuela is because Venezuela would not receive them. But it has come out now that Venezuela will receive its nationals deported back to the country, just not under the Alien Enemies Act, which is this wartime, very old wartime act. So what's interesting is that the Trump administration could have avoided all of this simply by not using the Alien Enemies Act, but they're really pushing the boundaries of what they can do to avoid people's rights under the Constitution for due process. And that's why we're seeing all of this.
We also discussed what the next 4 years might look like from this administration's immigration policy.
What we've seen is the Trump administration really push hard on its executive authority to break people's rights, for against search and seizure, against due process. I mean, the Trump administration has directed ICE to go into people's homes without a search warrant. And then the federal courts start to push back.
And what to expect from the legislative branch of the government.
We haven't seen Congress really push back. And of course, when the midterms come, depending on how those go, we may end up seeing more pushback. But I think in terms of the American people who are watching this and concerned, one of the things that is always a good idea is to communicate with your elected officials about your opinion and how you feel, because they need to hear from us. What I hope to see in these next couple of years is some more activity from Congress exercising its own authority under our system of the three branches.